Very good evening to all. And I'm Pinky Puttar from Dr. Reddy's, and I'm your host for this evening. And I welcome you all on the sixth day of our Pranayama course with Ira Trivedi. So, I guess since the last 6 days, we have learned a lot about Pranayama and the art of breathing and have improved it on it. So, I think without wasting any time, we have only today and tomorrow's day with us to learn more about Pranayama. So I'll give this session over to Ira Trivedi so that she can teach us more about this. Over to you, Ira. So this questions, Ira, from yesterday's session, would you like to take up now or at the end? Would you like
Sure.
to?
I'll be taking them on now.
Sure.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome to this wonderful session organized by Dr. Reddy. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here this evening. Now, before we begin our practice, I would like to take a few questions on Kapalbhati. I'd also like to explain Kapalbhati a little bit more. So the question that came up is that is Kapalbhati safe for people who have high BP, who have heart disease? Now, the way that we are doing Kapalbhati in this course, it is safe because we're doing it in a very gentle way. We're doing it very gently and we're doing it in a very mild fashion. If you do Kapalbhati in a very vigorous fashion, it can be bad for your heart, it can be for people with high BP, it increases your BP. But unless you have very, very high BP, if you're someone who suffers from very high BP, I would say avoid it completely. But if your BP is a little high, it tends to go a little high, you can still do this, but do it less. What we are trying to do in our course is we're trying to understand how to engage the diaphragm through Kapalbhati, right? So we're not trying to, some people do Kapalbhati like this, like really hard. This is not what we're doing. We're doing it like this. So it's very gentle. So another few times that we avoid Kapalbhati is during a woman's menstrual cycle, during pregnancy. These are times when we avoid Kapalbhati. During a pregnancy, especially in the first, 1 or 2 months, definitely avoid it. It feels uncomfortable. For high BP, you should try to do it. And if it feels, because it depends also on your BP, because there's different variants of high BP. So try and see what it feels like to you, see what works for you, experiment with your body, and know that you are your own best doctor, right? At the end of the day, there's no other doctor outside of yourself who knows you better than your own self. But what we tend to do is we don't allow our intuitive nature to take over. We are so misguided by, Google. This is what now everyone's doctor is google.com, right? We're so misguided by so much information coming from outside that we forget to listen to our intuition. But if you begin to go within, the way that we are doing through these practices, you take a moment to just be in stillness, your body will start giving you the answers. And yesterday we spoke about yogic diet, and I promise you something. Let me give you an example from my own life. For the past few days, I've been craving a lot of makhanas. Makhanas, fox nuts, plain fox nuts cooked in ghee. And I was finishing this much of them. It was like a crazy amount of makhanas. So I kept on ordering them from Amazon, and a big carton of makhanas would come. And my family members thought something was wrong with me. They said, "You're not eating anything but makhanas. What's going on?" And then I realized that makhanas are very high in protein. They have quite a lot of calcium. And my protein in my other part of my diet, I was eating very little. I was eating, so my body was trying to compensate. And even calcium, makhanas are quite high in calcium. And even my calcium intake was quite low. And because of that, I was craving makhanas because it was giving me what I needed. And this often happens. If you pay enough attention, you'll see, wow, today I crave a banana. And then you see, oh, magnesium levels are low. And that's why I needed to eat that banana. Today I'm craving, some, pata nahi kyon, but a guava pasand aa raha hai. I want to eat a guava. And then you begin to realize that there's something in that guava that you needed. Maybe you needed more vitamin C. And so you were craving that, right? So as you go internal and as you start cleansing your palate by the yogic diet that we discussed yesterday, you begin to eat more intuitively. And then you realize that you can get all the nutrition you need from the food that you're eating. You don't need to buy pills. You don't need to take injections. None of that is required. The diet that we have becomes our guiding factor. So again, just like in our diet, listen to your body. And that's why when we do yoga, the kind of yoga that I teach, the kind of yoga that we teach over at YOG LOVE, our online yoga studio, here we teach a very sattvic yoga. And sattvic yoga means that it's a yoga which is aimed towards purity, that's aimed towards achieving mental stillness. It's for an internal purpose. We're not just doing yoga to get in shape or to get toned and all of that. All of that happens with yoga. It really does happen. But the purpose and the way in which we approach yoga is a little bit different. And this is what makes our practice very sattvic. And this is what makes the pranayama practice very sattvic. So again, if you pay attention to your body, if you pay attention to your breath, the way that you begin to understand your body, the way that you begin to eat becomes very, very intuitive. I promise you that. So if something feels wrong to you, if you're doing Kapalbhati, you will automatically know if it's right for you or wrong for you. You know, anything that you do for that matter. So pay attention. If you do stuff mindlessly, if you're watching TV and doing Kapalbhati, then you'll never come to know if it's good for you or not, if it's having an impact on your heart. I know some people, they're watching like a movie and they're doing Kapalbhati. It doesn't work that way. You have to be in the moment and focused on yourself, right? And that's when these practices become magical. And there is a huge transformative power in these. So I'm going to explain just one more thing about Kapalbhati. Kapalabhati, the word in itself, if you translate it from Sanskrit to English, it means shining skull. And it's what gives you that amazing yoga glow because there's such a beautiful detox happening in the body, right? You're pumping all the stale oxygen out of the body and you're allowing to take in fresh energy, fresh prana. Let me explain to you what's happening in the lungs. Again, many of you are doctors, but still I'd like to explain from my humble yogic perspective what's happening. The lungs are like layers, right? And they have alveoli in them. And these alveoli, these air sacs get stuck together. When we do Kapalbhati, we begin opening up this alveoli. So the lungs begin functioning better. They're all stuck. All those layers are stuck. The alveoli is stuck. But we open it up using the Kapalbhati. And that's a beautiful process. And that's when you inhale post Kapalbhati, it feels so amazing. You can really go deep with that breath, right? Another last point I'd like to make because this course ends tomorrow and there's so much that I want to share with you. And tomorrow I'm going to tell you how to practice pranayama for every day of your life. That's tomorrow's lesson. So definitely turn up for class tomorrow. But today, at the end, I just want to say that if you are doing the practice of Jal Neti, then do Jal Neti. But if you're not doing Jal Neti, which is with the Neti pot, then try to steam. All of us have steamers in our house these days. At least steam before you come for the pranayama practice. It really makes a big difference. If you steam and then you come, then you'll really see a difference in your breathing, and it's such a beautiful practice, I promise you. So try, tomorrow, since now you're comfortable, tomorrow's class, come after steaming and see what the difference is, right? So now let's begin our practice. We're going to place the hands on the knees and we begin with our warm-ups. Okay, just combining the breath and the body. So let's begin to move in all four directions. And we're going to be practicing today for just 20 minutes. And you'll see that even a 20-minute practice can make a huge difference in the body and the mind. Let's move. Inhale and exhale, circle. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Now exhale, let's move all the way back. Trying to gauge what's happening with the body and the breath. Coming back to center. Now let's inhale, open up the chest. Exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale down. Inhale, open up. Exhale down. Inhale, opening up all the way. Exhale down. Inhale, open up. Exhale. Inhale. And resting here for just a minute. Exhale. Coming back to center, and now slowly let's raise the arms all the way up. Stretch the arms up. Getting a nice deep stretch in the body. Inhale and exhale. Stretching all the way towards the right. And bring the arms down. And once again, you can choose to sit in Vajrasana that we learned the other day. That's also a beautiful practice if you feel like your back is not straight. So choose your sitting posture. Come back to center. Inhale, bring the arms up. Interlock the fingers, stretch up. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the arms down, stretch. Getting a nice, beautiful twist to the spine. And back to center. And now let's bring the soles of the feet together. And let's slowly open up the lower body. Getting a nice stretch in the legs. You can choose right now to do any warm-up of your choice. So if you'd like to open up the ankles, if you have stiff knees, this is the time to choose your warm-up based on what your body needs. Coming back to center. Now let's take a comfortable seated posture, and we begin with a brief body scan, and then we move into the practice of Kapalbhati, Anulom Vilom, and then finally moving to just a few rounds of the Bhramari Pranayama. Right? So now just beginning to settle down, settle in. Listening to the sounds of the sacred chants. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale on 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taking a few breaths at your own pace. And now we begin the practice of Kapalbhati. If you're unsure if you're doing it correctly, bring one hand underneath your nose and feel the air blowing out on this finger, right? You should feel it blowing through the nose and back in through the nose, right? Not through the mouth, but out through the nose and in through the nose. So you can choose to hold the finger up If you're unsure or keep the hands down, just keep the back straight and spine straight. Let's begin the practice. Only on the first breath do we inhale. Let's inhale deeply. Hunt, 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 pump, hunt, 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 and release. Taking a few deep breaths. Now we go in for a breath retention. So you'll be filling the lungs 3/4 of the way full and then retaining the breath. So let's do this together. Let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhaling deeply. Back straight. Hold the breath, 3/4 of the lungs full, and retain the breath. Focus at the point in between your eyebrows. Feeling the pressure build up in the lungs. And then slowly with control, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Second round, let's inhale deeply. Hunt, 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 and exhale. Taking a few deep breaths at your natural pace. Now let's inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhaling deeply, back straight, spine straight. Final retention. Feel the energy in between your eyebrows. Becoming one with the breath. Finding that stillness in the body and the mind. Knowing that breath retention, the antar kumbhaka, is the best way to increase your focus, your concentration, your lung strength. Slowly with control, exhale. Now take your right hand, bring it into a Vishnu mudra, like we learned, middle finger, index finger on the palm. Bring the elbow close to the body, closing the right nostril, inhaling from the left on 1, on 2, 3, 4, retain. Exhale, right, closing the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain, retaining for 8 counts now. Exhale, left on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4. Inhale, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. Exhale, right on 1, on 2, on 3, 4. Inhale, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain, closing both nostrils, keeping the focus at the center of the eyebrows. Exhale, left on 1, on 2, on 3, on 4. Inhale, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. Exhale, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. Exhale, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. Exhale, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Retain. Exhale, left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly drop the hand and just feel the body, feel the mind. Feel the relaxation in all parts of the body and the mind. And now let's move to the Bhramari Pranayama that we've learned. You can bring the hands up, cover the small of the ear, inhaling from the nose deeply, and exhaling loudly with the sound of a bee as you close the small of the ears. Inhale. Inhale. Slowly bring the hands down and just inhale to the nose and exhale to the nose. And you can even hear the difference in my voice just by practicing this 5 times. There's a depth to the voice which wasn't there before. Getting an entire beautiful massage for our vocal cords, all of the organs in our throat. Taking just a few moments in silence. Observing the benefits of the practice. And just scan the body now, moving from the toes, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, hips, pelvis, spine, abdomen, fingers, palms, wrists, forearms, elbows, upper arms, shoulders, neck, throat, chin, lips, nose, eyes, forehead, middle of the forehead, feeling the energy moving through the body. Now let's bring the hands to heart center. And let's chant Om and see how similar it is to the Bhramari Pranayama. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnat Padachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Rub your palms together. Bring the palms on your eyes. Bring your palms on your forehead, all 5 fingers on the skull. May this bliss be with you. May this peace be with you. May this joy be with you. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank you, everyone, for joining us once again for this wonderful session. Thank you to Team Dr. Reddy's, and thank you to all the Corona warriors who have joined us today. See you tomorrow for our last session. Don't forget to steam before you come.
Thank you so much, Ira, for such a nice session. And I request all participants to kindly be with us tomorrow. Also, kindly join us tomorrow, same time. And please share this links out to as many people as you can with all your friends and families, so that they can gain from this session. So till we will meet tomorrow, same time. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and as we believe in Dr. Reddy's, good health can't